Mike Bohn here with a MMA legend and Vitor Belfort, who is now a professional boxer, getting some more experience coming off a win over Jacare Souza at Gamebred Boxing 4. Vitor, it's been a couple days since the fight. We didn't get to hear from you right after at the press conference. I guess, first of all, how are you feeling physically?
Feeling amazing. I feel great. Just my pack on the third round. My biceps was coming with a little trouble in the camp. I threw a very vicious hook on the third round, kind of like a little partour, and I have to do that the whole round. So I have to kind of avoid to use my lead hand, the hand that I love to use. But you have to figure it out. That's the key of mastery and to become a champion is to deal with adversity. So I deal with adversity many times in my life, and I had a great fight. I enjoy. And sometimes I step back. I know he was hurt. I was having a lot of fun, and I was literally having joy. I love boxing, as you guys know, very well know from my hands, but was having fun.
Yeah, so is it like a serious injury, like something that might need surgery, or is it just rehab, or what are you thinking?
I think it's just a part where I'm gonna do an MRI. It's gonna be fine. But I mean, I'm taking the anti-inflammatory. It's feeling much better. It's just something what I was feeling during the camp, and just like a big cramp. When you throw that thing so hard, and it's almost like you cannot lift your arms for in the sixth round. My arms started fatiguing so much because I was feeling pain, but was nothing that stopped me from doing what I do. So I was rocking him the whole every round. I was putting the combinations. I was feeling very confident. I was just enjoy what I was about to do there. So to box.
Yeah, how'd you feel about your performance? You obviously knocked him down multiple times. You had him close to, being out of there on multiple occasions. He was very tough, and he kept trying to fight, but you were definitely in control for the majority of that fight and did the most damage.
Yeah, so it's like this. So boxing is a game of setting up your feet. You have to set up your feet, its position. It's you punch with your arms, but actually I punch with my legs. So I was just taking my time. I was enjoying, having fun. My coach would say, "Why are you staying on the clinch?" I say, "I just like it. I just wanted to do something different. I wanted to fight 6 rounds. A couple of times I could have stopped him. If my wife said, "Why you didn't put some straight punch?" I said, "Sometimes you just like." I step back. Why you didn't step back? I said, I just want to box. That was in my mind. Like, how can I box? Because my whole career, I want to share something that's true. My whole career is being Victor. You have to finish early, and if I don't finish early, people don't get happy that I didn't finish early. But I was struggling with that internally. So like I have to finish. And I remember Carson Gracie telling me, "Listen, Victor, stop listening to what people think. You got to go out there and fight and execute your job." So in my mind, what I wanted to do in that fight is just to be able to box, having fun, you know, and hopefully we can have like a top opponent for the next fight, like someone that really we can draw, you know, people to make it big. So I have some names in mind, and I hope these people stop ducking me and sign the contract.
Yeah, and we can get to what comes next and all that in a moment. But I want to ask, obviously, this Gamebred Boxing promotion. What was the experience like? You fought with a lot of different organizations in different sports. How did they treat you? Did it seem like a professional, well-run operation? What did you think of everything?
And I'm telling you, I don't have nothing about the best. Dean is a phenomenal guy. His whole team, everybody, the love and the respect, the, everything was so smooth. You know, Masvidal did a great job. In putting this team together, and I really enjoyed, man. It's just fun too because I know a big fighter like Masvidal, with his people, with his investors, and he got the whole team. They did a great job, phenomenal job. I cannot wait what is going to come from them. I'm going to be there to support as much as they can, bringing some good deals, bringing countries. We could not finishing. We almost finished a TV deal for this fight, but it was too short notice. And like I said, it takes people don't know what is making event. It's not an easy thing to do it. And they did a phenomenal job. My wife said, Victor, on TV, we watch after. The TV was awesome. The commentators, to the coaches, for the staff, the arena, everything, man. I just have nothing but respect to tell this team did an amazing job. Gamebred Boxing. It's made me want to go back, and maybe we do me and Pettis next, because it's supposed to be me and Roy on their event. But Roy picked the easy fight, but unfortunately Roy couldn't win, you know. But I mean, I would love to fight Pettis. That would
that'd be
or Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Anderson Silva. I have these names, in mind because, like I said, for me to fight today is more like a passion, purpose thing, because in 1997, I had a lunch with Muhammad Ali and his lawyer. They trying to sign me to become a boxer, but I have to leave UFC. And I said, if I cannot do both, Mom, I'm sorry, I'm going to stick with UFC. I don't regret at all. I helped today watching UFC where they arrived, Dana White, the new owners, Ariel. So they're doing an amazing job. I'm so happy to be a part of that. And now I got to box, and I think we have some amazing fights that can be happening soon in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So like once, as you mentioned, you were going to fight Roy Jones and he picked Pettis. How did they land on Jacare? Was that like a fight that you wanted because you obviously had the history in MMA, or like were they talking to him separately and it just came together? How did that fight ultimately come together?
So they say, Victor, what they offer me a guy, they offer me Paul Daly, lighter guy. I said, man, if I Paul Daly, that is nothing. That the thing is, this isn't gonna give me. They gotta get me on. I remember even Ali he's a great friend of mine. He called me and said, Victor, and I said, I told the promoters that's not gonna turn me on. I'm not gonna be on to fight that guy. He's lighter. And I said, I want a guy that makes me turn me on, and I can kind of get my revenge. So there is nothing about a rematch. People love rematch. Jacare beat me in the MMA. I said that would be a guy that I would love to, to compete again. And so that's how it was. And he was the heavier guy. He was like 225 in the night. But like I said, boxing is not about how big you are; it's how skilled you are.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be skillful. So I've been training this for so long. I prepare my body. I do longevity stuff. You know me. I'm always in shape. I'm always prepared. Because for me, it's doing little a lot, not a lot little. So I know sometimes fighters, they stay in camps. He went 6 weeks before to Brazil. I live in camp. And that's what I do. I was just right here driving my son to train. And then later I go again. And then it don't stop. I'm always in competition. And makes me so much joy to have my kids there. They're all competitors, tough competitors. They're high-level athletes, and be able to motivating my kids and say, if I can do it, you better do it.
Do you still have any like contract ties with Gamebred, or was it just a one-fight deal?
It was a one-fight deal, and I'm looking. We're gonna talk. Team was very nice. Him and his team, and like I said, we're looking for fights that can make the crowd want to tune in. I want to create it's also like, how can I inspire the next generation? Receive texts from some sort of top athletes. Victor, you motivated me. Victor, thank you. If you can, your speed is there, your power is there. It's amazing because I'm not just there trying to collect check. You see, I'm in shape. I can box. I have speed. Because people think I'm 46. I've been kicking some 24-year-old guys every day in the gym. So it's fun for me because I'm learning as I go to these young guys. They teach me a lesson to be humble, to enjoy every training. How can I do things better? So it's how can I reinvent in myself, understanding the limits of my body. I cannot do this crazy lifting anymore. So I have to kind of create my own thing, That's why I create BFL, Belfort Fitness Lifestyle. It's a way of lifting, it's a way of conditioning, it's a way of training when you're in a later age, in a later time. So I'm having fun, and I can't wait for the next one. So I'm looking for a top opponent, and let's box. I know the Emirates is putting great fights. You know, these people throwing a lot of money in people that I don't think they deserve that much. And like I said, I want to create business. It's not just getting paid. How can you create business that can be sustainable? Because you can throw an event, but if you don't have an income back, so I'm all for understanding. And it's not just throwing and making money. How can I make you doing the next one, the next one, the next one? So it's at the end of the day, I know what it takes to do something. Takes resource, but also has to take invest in the right people. That's what a lot of promoters sometimes they put in their money in the wrong people.
Yeah. So you mentioned a bunch of names earlier: Anthony Pettis, Jake Paul, Anderson Silva. Which fight would you want the most, and what do you think is maybe the most likely of some of those names?
You know, Logan Paul. Logan Paul is a fight that I really like it, but I think these Paul brothers they don't want, they avoid me so much. But I would love to fight one of them. You know, in this BMA gloves. If they think they are fighters, you know, because they've been treated like they're fighters, and now Jake Paul is like an MMA. You guys giving so much publicity for him, and I mean, I don't know his record in MMA, but I mean, even in boxing, you know, he coming out a lot. So if these guys are man enough to fight me, and I prove that I deserve, actually, they have to pay me a lot of money to fight them. I heard he's throwing a lot of money to Nick Diaz, but Nick Diaz say no. So Logan Paul, come battle me. If you have a man enough, I can fight both of you guys in the same night if you guys want. You know, we can do that. You know, we can break pay-per-view record. But I promise you, both of you guys get tired, get another one. But I can box all you two guys in the same night. That would be a good fight. So let's break pay-per-view record. I will fight both guys in the same night.
Yeah, what did you think of Jake's loss against Tommy Fury? Obviously, you know, some people feel like he had all that momentum, then he finally lost one, and now people are wondering how committed he'll be to go forward, right, after you finally lose.
Remember, Tommy Fury is not a great boxer, you know, but he boxed very well. He did very good. So Jake Paul improved a lot. I take my hat for Jake. Jake is doing great. You know, he's training, he's preparing, he's paying his price. But I mean, they're in another shelf. You know, the shelves of category. You go in tennis, we have first class, second class, third class, and I think they're not in first class. You know, I mean, Tommy Fury. You know, it's he is a good boxer, but not a great boxer. You know, I see a lot of holes on his game, but I mean, he was the better boxer that night.
You know, the Anthony Pettis thing, obviously you both worked with Gamebred, so do you think like that could be possible as well?
Of course. Totally possible. You know, a guy that I would love to fight is the Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz or Nate Diaz. But
Nate or Nick?
Both. Either both.
Yeah.
Because they're great boxers, man. I think that would be a war. I would love to fight one of those brothers. I have so much respect for them. You know, they earn respect. They're real fighters. You know, they're real brawlers, and they love to box, and so do I. And I think I was the guy who motivated them to become a great boxer in an MMA community, because I come from Carson Gracie team. They come from the other Gracie team. And I think, don't make mistake, but I remember when they told me, say, Victor, you're the motivation for me. So, and they understood that they have to learn boxing. So they went and become a great boxers, but a great martial artists as well. So, and I think I inspired these two brothers to become great boxers into the grappling world. So that would be a legendary fight too, to fight one of these two guys, man. You know, like I said, I want to share the ring with people that literally has sort of impact. The Paul brothers, they have sort of impact. You know, these guys that really came from becoming YouTubers. You got to respect these two brothers. You know, they become boxers, and they training hard. They risking themselves. Of course, they promote different things that I believe, but I mean, it's okay. At the end of the day, they deserve to share the ring with me. So I want to share the ring with people that will challenge me. They will motivate me for training, because there is no more honor to be defined by the guys that you fought against. You know what I'm saying? Not how many wins. It's, for me, the definition of honor is who is my opponent? Who do I fight? You know, who do I battle? And I never choose a pair. I fought the best guys of MMA. I did my part in MMA. I'm so excited. Like, I always tell Dana, I was so pleased to be helping inspire this new generation, and now is their time. But I mean, the boxing and BMA is something that I really have to. I really had to do it because I can do it, and it's time for merge these two sports in one, and that's my dream to be able to do BMA with any one of these guys. I would love to do BMA with the Diaz brothers, with Pettis or whatever, with the Paul brothers, and even Tommy Fury. If Tommy Fury wants to accept me on that challenge, I think that would be a fun fight to do with him in these gloves, you know. But like I said, people gotta take some risk. I think that people are very hesitating, and I mean, Tyson Fury was willing to box and gun on the little gloves, so I admire guys like him, and I believe his brother can accept that challenge as well. So I'm looking for fights that will make me want to go to the gym and inspire to me to train and compete.
And so, like, how long do you wait for the right opportunity? Because obviously, you want to fight, you want to be active to a degree. How long do you wait for the right opportunity to come around? And at what point do you finally tell your manager, Lloyd, who's one of the best in the game, like, hey, I just want to fight, find me, whoever?
I'm gonna go check my biceps tomorrow with the doctor, but I think it's not gonna be major. It'll be something that is gonna be hard, fast. I'm gonna do some stem cells, and we're gonna be back. I'm ready. Like if I didn't have that, I can fight this Saturday.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of this Saturday, I want to ask your opinion. Who do you think wins this fight between Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira for the UFC middleweight title, just going down there in Miami at UFC 287?
So, I love both of the fighters. I trained with Israel before. He's a phenomenal athlete, went so far, he's so technical, so strategic. But Pereira is so strong, man. I'm telling you, that guy is like a phenomenal. He knows how to throw power shots. And of course, and I'm glad he had a great corner. But I think he started developing his instincts. He's so young in the sport. He's so young. And I hope for his ground, because I think, Israel is going to try to utilize the ground game a lot. But I mean, it's very interesting because the betting now is against Pereira, but it's hard to bet against, Pereira because he has so much power behind him. And if he knows how to control that fight, and I think he's going to be a lot in the head of Israel. So, but if he goes to the ground, I can see Israel having more advance on the ground. But I don't see Pereira losing that fight in the sense of the power and the experience and the momentum going on his favor. But it's going to be interesting. But I'm very, very excited for the co-main event. Gilbert Burns, it's been my pupil. You guys know I did something with him. It's amazing. When I went to train at Ruka, he came from a world champion, and I said, hey, man, you want to make some money or you want to just get some medal? He said, I want to make some money. I said, quit jiu-jitsu and come train with me. The guy quit jiu-jitsu in a bit and came live with me in my house. He sacrificed his whole career in jiu-jitsu and came and believed in me. And I built him, I trained him, and I started his career. And then I put him in UFC, and then he started developing. And of course, he went on his own. And I mean, I'm so proud to see his growth, his maturity, and the way he carry along the things that I taught him, not just in the octagon, but outside of the octagon with his wife, raising his kids, honor his family. He's a Christian man. And I mean, I'm so proud, man. I can even give it tears in my eyes to when I think about Gilbert, because he could not be in a better moment fighting one of the most legendary fighters of UFC, George Masvidal. And I really see the favor, the momentum going to Gilbert. It's going to be a battle, I know, but I see Gilbert's winning, and I see he's getting this title very soon.
I love that. I didn't know that story, and that's awesome to hear. And he's obviously, like you said, turned into an amazing fighter. He's, a very stand-up guy as well. Are you guys still very close? Do you still
very
kind of
close.
mentor him in that way?
Actually, he's waiting for me because I'm going to go see him now. I'm going to go give him some strategic for the fight and just talking to him. I've been mentoring him since his beginning of his career, and for me now to just be great friends and just to see that he not just learned and now he's just adding things. and see his maturity is just making me so proud.
I love that. Well, I'll let you get to him. Just one more thing I want to ask you about, Vitor. This summer, we're seeing Anderson Silva go in the UFC Hall of Fame, Jose Aldo go in the UFC Hall of Fame. Are you expecting to get that call? We don't know when it's going to be, but are you expecting and are you hopeful that one day you will get inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame as well?
For sure, man. Listen, my story with UFC came before everybody else. I remember even Anderson Silva, his first fight, he came with my shirt, with one of the bad boy shirt that I had. You know,
Yeah.
I think I came from so many generations. I raised so many generations, inspired so many generations, and my history with UFC comes from the first owner, second owner, third owner. I think I went through. I think all the owners. Even like when I retired, because I remember.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. I remember when I signed with Dana and Lorenzo. But before Bob Majovic, they had one owner. Arthur Davey. And I mean, it's crazy. And I mean, UFC. If it wasn't for UFC guys, I think the sport would not exist. First of all, so I'm very thankful, and I can't wait for this call. And I'm so blessed to see the growth, the evaluation. Even MMA Junkie, man. I remember when we went to the press conference, we don't have nobody. You guys covering the sport, giving so much visibility, and the whole thing, man. I'm so grateful because I quit. I say no to a million dollar contract, $2 million contract, when I used to make $50,000 in a win after fighting twice in the night. I say no to $2 million contract with Muhammad Ali on the table, the lawyer, my mom. I didn't speak the language pretty well. My question was simple. I will be able to do both. They say no, you'll not be able to do both. You have to quit MMA. I looked to my mom and say, Mom, Carson was there with me. I say, Carson, Mom, I can't. And it was a lot of money. Even Carson said, Victor, I would not judge you to don't accept that.
Yeah.
But of course, Carson didn't want me to accept, but I said I can't. That's my passion, and it was worth it. But I get to box now. I'm having fun.
Yeah, I love it. Your MMA debut, October 1996. Over 25 years later, you're still here competing, and your passion for the sport is as strong as ever. So I love to see it, Vitor. Happy to see you get a win over the weekend, and it sounds like you got another big fight coming up whenever it may be against whoever. So appreciate the time.
These guys that accept it, they just got to accept the fight, old guy.